Find mate. The king looks like it has choices, but one move removes the last escape square. Now rewind. Edward Lasker has white against George Allen Thomas in London. The point is not to memorize moves. Watch the candidate move, the obvious move, and the defender that cannot answer both. That is how the final tactic starts to feel forced instead of random. First quiet clue. Quiet moves count when they improve the open file, block a defender, or prepare a forcing reply. This is the first real clue. Now 2. F5 is the next pressure test after 2. And F3. Second pressure move. It makes a later tactic believable by improving the bishop route or limiting a reply. The previous checkpoint 2. And F3 changed the defender map before 2. F5. 2. F5 sets up the next question at 3. And F6. Pause here, what changed after 2? F5? No fireworks yet, but the trap is getting organized around move 3. Watch the back rank room, where the king can still breathe. The board is already drifting from 3, and F6 toward 5. BXF6. Fourth visible prize, hidden access. After 5. BXF6, the loose defender is easier to use. Look back one checkpoint. 3. And F6 made the position fragile enough for 5. BXF6. Fifth defender count changes. A safe-looking position turns into a trap when the forced reply has no spare helper. That is Y7. Next 4 is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 6. Vex4. Sixth greed warning. The capture looks local, but it changes the pawn shield near the king. A quiet detail from 6. Vex4 is still hanging in the air when 7. Next 4 arrives. The king moves out of the center and the rook joins the game. Now ask whether the central square is safer or only renamed. 8. O sets up the next question at 11. QXH7+. Castle safety is useful only if the new shelter actually holds. Check with a purpose. The king answers first, so the trade choice can decide the next move. After QXH7+, can the king and defender both stay useful? The board is already drifting from 11. QXH7+ toward 12. NXF6+. Ninth forcing checkpoint. Counterplay pauses while we inspect the entry point. Which defender cannot cover both threats? The previous checkpoint 11. QXH7+ changed the defender map before 12. NXF6+. This is the bridge to 13. Neg4+, where the defender has fewer choices. The attack arrives with tempo. A quiet defense would be nice, but this check makes the rook lift urgent. What does Neg4+ reveal about the king's real cover? That is why 13. Kg5 is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 13. Neg4+. The board gets less comfortable for the defender. The knight or bishop coordination is becoming harder to ignore after this move. Look back one checkpoint 13. Neg4+ made the position fragile enough for 13. Kg5. Pause here, what changed after 13? Kg5? Initiative in plain sight. The defender can move, block, or trade, but the shrinking route still needs an answer. 14. H4+ sets up the next question at 14. Kf4. A small improvement can be a big warning. If the opponent treats the rook entry as harmless, the next forcing move lands harder. A quiet detail from 14. H4+ is still hanging in the air when 14. Kf4 arrives. Every check is a timing question. If the defender spends this move on survival, which diagonal lost protection? This is the bridge to 15. Kf3, where the defender has fewer choices. 15th quiet clue. Quiet moves count when they improve the back rank room, block a defender, or prepare a forcing reply. 15. G3+ is the clue that makes 15. Kf3 less random. That is why 16. B2+ is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 15. Kf3. 16th forcing checkpoint. Counterplay pauses while we inspect the overload. Which piece has 2 jobs? The previous checkpoint, 15. Kf3, changed the defender map before 16. b2 plus. Now 16. kg2 is the next pressure test after 16. b2 plus. Pause here, what changed after 16? b2 plus? No fireworks yet, but the trap is getting organized around move 16. Watch the tempo race. Who has to answer first? 16. kg2 sets up the next question at 17. rh2 plus. 18th king safety audit. If the reply damages the pawn shield, the next tactic gets easier. Look back one checkpoint. 16. kg2 made the position fragile enough for 17. rh2 plus. The board is already drifting from 17. rh2 plus towards 17. kg1. This is how initiative grows before the punchline. The move does not win immediately, but it changes the central square. This is the bridge to 18. kd2 hashtag where the defender has fewer choices. Edward Lasker ends the argument. The focus is trade choice. The king has no useful square and no defender left to cover it. That is the proof behind the finish. The recapture problem is the proof behind the finish. Pause here, what changed after 18? kd2 hashtag? The lesson from the king walk checkmate nobody believes is concrete. A tactic works when the earlier moves already changed the defender map. Replay the My Chess Coach lesson, solve the puzzles, and ask this before moving. What is the candidate move, which defender has 2 jobs, and what square proves it? Then replay the critical position once more and name the first clue before the final move. That question turns a flashy finish into a pattern you can use in your own games.